Some losses don't come with funerals, no goodbyes, no permission to grieve. Yet your chest feels heavy. Your thoughts circle someone who still exists, but no longer belongs to your life. Psychology has a name for this pain, and once you hear it, everything starts to make sense. You are grieving someone who is still alive. This kind of grief is quiet, invisible, often dismissed, because society only recognizes grief when someone dies. But the nervous system doesn't follow social rules. It follows attachment. When you lose someone emotionally but not physically, your brain remains stuck in expectation. It waits, it scans, it hopes. This is called ambiguous loss, when the person is gone psychologically but still present in the world. They're alive, but unavailable, changed, unreachable. And that confuses the brain more than death ever could, because death gives finality, but emotional loss gives uncertainty. Your mind keeps asking, are they really gone? Could they come back? Did I imagine the connection? This is why you replay memories, reread messages, feel waves of longing that make no sense. You're not weak, you're not stuck. You're responding exactly as a bonded nervous system would. In attachment psychology, bonds don't break when people leave. They break when closure is processed. And when there is no closure, the bond stays open. This is why seeing their name can trigger anxiety, why you feel emotional spikes for no clear reason, why your body reacts before your logic can intervene. Your system is still trying to complete something that was never finished. What hurts most is not losing them, it's losing who you were with them, the version of you that felt seen, the future you imagined, the safety your body associated with their presence. This is not longing, this is grief without permission. And because it's invisible, you silence it. You tell yourself, they're still alive. I shouldn't feel this way. It's been long enough. But grief does not obey timelines. It obeys attachment. And until this is understood, you keep blaming yourself for a pain that was never your fault. Grieving someone who is still alive doesn't just hurt, it reshapes you. Because without realizing it, part of your identity stayed attached to the version of life that existed with them. Psychology shows that attachment is not only about people, it's about who we become in relationship. When that relationship disappears without closure, your nervous system keeps the door open, not out of weakness, but out of unfinished meaning. This is why moving on feels impossible, because your body is still waiting for an ending that never arrived. In trauma psychology, this is known as frozen attachment, a state where emotional energy remains locked in a bond that no longer exists in reality. Your system keeps replaying moments, scanning for signs, imagining conversations that will never happen. Not because you want them back, but because your brain is trying to complete the story. And here's the part most people miss. You're not grieving them. You're grieving the future you built around them. The shared plans, the imagined healing, the version of yourself that felt safe, chosen, or finally understood. When that future collapses, your system experiences it as a death, even if the person is still alive. This is why just letting go never works. Letting go requires integration, not force. Real healing begins when you stop asking, "Why can't I move on?" and start asking, "What part of me is still waiting?" Waiting for validation, waiting for repair, waiting for the moment that makes the pain make sense. Closure does not come from the other person. It comes from giving your nervous system something it never received: acknowledgement. Acknowledgement that the bond mattered, that the loss was real, that your pain is not exaggerated, it is logical. This is called symbolic closure, the process of consciously grieving what never had the chance to end properly. It involves naming the goodbye that was never spoken. But I don't want you to just think about this. I want you to actually do it. Write the letter, read it out loud to an empty chair, and then burn it or shred it. That physical action tells your nervous system the chapter is closed. When this happens, something shifts. Your body stops scanning, your mind stops looping, your heart slowly releases the grip it no longer needs. Not because the memory disappears, but because it finally finds its place in the past. You don't forget them, you stop living with them. And one day, without forcing it, you realize something quietly powerful. You're no longer grieving someone who's still alive. You're living again without waiting.